Today we'll be talking about submission. What does it mean to submit to another? As a woman, what does it mean to submit to your man, to your husband? So we will be talking about it in terms of what happens between the female energy and the masculine energy, or feminine energy and masculine energy within each of us. So understand the psyche, the female psyche and the male psyche, how it works, and what this submission has to do with anything here. My name is Chonwe. So let's get into it. First of all, as a human being, you know that you are a spirit being having a human experience. I always say that the first thing we are here to do, what we're here to do is to experience life as a spirit being, as God. Each and every one of us is a unique manifestation of God, having this unique human experience as you, me as joined, you as your name or who you are. And so in each of us lies the feminine energy and the masculine energy. So you can see that in batteries too. You will see the negative side and the positive side. So that is how it is in life, in most of the things. So humans are not exempted. So look at the feminine side, which is always located in the left side of your body, your feminine energy. So she's the dark one. Her qualities include gentleness, receiving. She receives power, water-like. Power here is the opposite of force. For instance, force is forceful in nature, but power is that state of being that allows you not to acquiesce your power to another person. That is that state of being contained in who you are, being in your raw power, but it's still not forceful. It's not power over another person. It's the power of being who you are, grounded in who you are. Okay, so I'm talking about these principles as found in us. So the male side, which represents the light, is the giving side. Is forceful, aggressive, fire-like. So this is found in our right side. So this I can say for myself. I don't know about you. I don't know how your own works. So if you have known yourself sufficiently, you will be able to know how your own works. So, and the line in the middle is the balance between the two, which is what we are always working out to be in balance of the two, right? So when you check this whole thing, you will see patterns that play out in life. You know that law of correspondence about the as within, so without, as above, so below, as in the microcosm, so it is in the macrocosm. So these things happening within us is still the dynamics that play out. The dynamics that play out in the physical world. So this is also how the relationship between a man and a woman play out in our physical world. Okay? So the qualities of a woman known in our society today is actually gentleness, receiving power, water-like. And because she's the dark one, this is why she's misunderstood. There is this fear around women, even if our male counterpart will not agree. So there is this way they fear women because of their deep nature. So the mysteriousness of their nature, which men mostly don't have. Remember that every man has the feminine energy, but the way the society functions, they make them to suppress their feminine energy, and so they stay on the surface part of life much more, except someone that has done their work to embody the fullness of who they are. And so they will now embrace their feminine side and they will not be ashamed of it, because you see, when a child is growing up and all that, they always tell the child, don't show emotion, it's for women, all those kind of things they tell children. It's for women, it's for this and that. So they start learning how to suppress their emotions, which is the dark side, and they stay only within their within their mind, the logical mind. This represents the logical side, and this represents the emotional side, the feeling side. So what now happens is, because of this, they stay on the surface and fear this. Then now another thing is, we live in the male's world. It's a male dominated world created for the men. For this one to now survive in this world, she started embodying some of these her male traits, her feminine, masculine traits. Remember that the masculine trait can have its lower one and it can have its higher one. The feminine traits can have its lower one and have its higher one. So what happened is that for women to survive in masculine world, she has to find ways to embody. She started embodying the lower part of this masculine side. And then also, because what is actually happening in our world today is not really the higher side of this side. This is not the higher side, is the lower side, is the unhealed masculine energy that is prevalent in our society today. So that is why there is aggression, there is war, hunger, all these things. People mostly live from their mind, from their logical side, devoid of any emotion, so they don't have empathy and all that. So this is what is prevalent in our society today. And so for this to survive here, she learned ways like manipulation, also being aggressive, like the lower part of the men. And she just practically embodied what is available here, which is the unhealed masculine energy, which is what is prevalent in our world today, in order to survive. So, but if you see a woman that is fully in her power, fully in her feminine, she's a superwoman, because it's not easy to really be in this world the way it is shaped and the way it functions without embodying these qualities. So this is where compassion has to come in. When you work in the areas that deal with people, you will see that most times people are not left with any choice. So it takes a lot of grace and power to work on yourself, both the women and men, to embody their higher self and really live a whole life and an authentic life. So now let's go to how these things play out. In my observation, the men, for them to heal, have to look at their root chakra. Most men, because of this way the world has trained them to be, you see, there's this Igbo adage my people to say, Ojonye na ala jonwe. What it means is, whoever that is holding another on the ground is also holding himself. So the patriarchy, which is the society we live in, which is actually starting to fall apart now, is not only favoring men, but it's also harming them, just as much as it's harming us, because they are the ones holding us to the ground, and they are not free until we are free. Our freedom means their freedom too, because if you are holding someone on the ground, you won't move, because if you move, the person will be released. So if you want to give the person their freedom, it also means you having your freedom, right? So where they have their issues, from my observation, you can like refute what I'm saying. It doesn't mean anything, but this is my observation. You don't have to take it. Is in their root chakras, they mostly, not all, there are those that have done the work and are healing themselves and all that. They mostly suffer in what is it called, insecurity. They mostly suffer insecurity. So what they need to do is to heal their root chakra and be more grounded in who they are. Once that happens, they will be able to embody their emotional side without shame. But because they are separated from their root chakras, so they don't embody their feminine side, and they call it masculinity. So it's actually one-sided. It's toxic masculinity. Being in the middle is balanced because you have embodied your feminine and you have embodied your masculine. As a woman, I am embodying my feminine and embodying my masculine. So being in balance here. So that is how life works. I'm sure you must have seen that pattern of black and white circle, which indicates our dark nature, our white nature in equal measure. So that is what it means. So you being able to embody the fullness of it all is what makes you a whole person. This is how you come into wholeness. So when they are grounded in who they are, which is what the root chakra is about, they are now comfortable enough in their skin to embody. Otherwise they will just be living on the surface of life and being very logical and thinking that that's all life is all about. One of the things about being logical is, for instance, my logical mind has limits. There are times I will get to a point I won't know what else to do. So what I will now need to do will always come from my intuition. My logical mind has gotten to where it does not know anything else to do. So I have to wait on my intuition, which has to do with the dark side, the feminine side, to now get going. So you see, logical side, the whole whatever is limited. So when the male has now healed in his root chakra, he is now free to embody his female side and with that he's healing from the toxic masculinity and all the things that come with it. Then women, their place of healing mostly is in their solar plexus chakra, which is the third chakra, because of the whole ways that they have been subjugated and the inhuman treatment that they have gone through many ages and all that. So the women were made to stay quiet and not to contribute to anything. So before I go on, let me explain this dark and light here before you think it means Satan and God. So dark here is just the quality, her quality, and light here is quality. For instance, the sun represents the masculine and the moon represents the feminine. The night represents the feminine and the day represents the masculine. So people don't fear the day, but they fear the night. So you see how the fear of the feminine comes about. So nothing is wrong with the dark. It is not related to Satan. Remember, the English language is very, very limiting. This is just her nature. For instance, you could say that emotions are dark in nature. So, but does it mean that they are bad? So it is her quality. That's just how she is. So now the whole clinging to the light, people don't even know that the light also has its lower side, which is what the toxic masculinity operating in our world is today. So you should be able to live in balance of the two. There is nothing to fear here. There's nothing to fear here. If you're afraid of this place, it will fear you. it will manifest in different ways here. For instance, fear of height, fear of different things, all these phobias, they are as a result of fear of fear. For instance, if you fear water, you fear your divine feminine. Okay, so it's just their qualities. Do you know, like English word light can mean the light we used to see, like the sunlight. It can also mean something being light, like becoming enlightened. Enlightenment can also mean like being full of light, and it can also mean living light, like ease of being, lightness of being light in your being, right? So darkness, it can mean darkness as an absence of light. So it doesn't really mean evil and good. There is nothing like that. Okay, so now let's go down to, okay, I was talking about the solar plexus chakra. So it is in their solar plexus chakra that they are supposed to heal because of these many years of subjugation and ill treatment. So the solar plexus talks about the self, enhancement of the self. So that is where they need to be enhanced. And it also talks about personal power, self-authoring, self-expression, all those things that they have been suppressed from. Those are the things: self-confidence, healthy self-esteem. They all come from self-assurance, poise, charisma. They all come from your third chakra, which is the chakra of self. It is where our self is defined. These people don't really have that problem. They only have the problem in their root chakra because they are insecure. The insecurity shows in the fear of this, and so she must be contained. She must be contained and controlled. So the nature of this in its lower state is to control this. It controls things, not only this, it likes to be in charge, or else it will begin to feel like it's being annihilated. Like within you, the ego self, which is represented by your law, the within you, your masculine side is represented by your ego. So it does not like to lose control. It does not like submission or surrender. It does not like to lose control. So it must be in control all the time, or else it will begin to feel threatened, or it will begin to be fearful, and different things. You can just look within you to see these things I'm talking about, to understand them. So because as within, so without. So these patterns are always playing out in life, even in the bigger picture, in the cosmos and all that. I have a book coming out on these patterns of things that happen in life and all that very soon. So because it does not like it to lose control, it wants to be in control all the time. So this must be contained. I'm talking about in its lower form. This has to be contained. It has to be controlled, subjugated, to be in submission to this. So I think that is where this is where submission came into the picture. So now let's look at what submission is, the etymology of the word submission, and so that we can understand better. This is the meaning, late 14th century, submission, submission, act of referring to a third party for judgment or decision. So this means that you as a woman, you don't have the right to make judgment or decision. It has to come from your man, right? And so because of that, your sense of self is eroded. You are not meant to be a self. You be self-authoring, or have your be a human being, because your sense of self is eroded. Then you derive your sense of self from your man. So from old French, submission, or directly from Latin submissionem. Anyways, let me not cut my tongue. It's a lowering, letting down, sinking. To let down, to put down, to lower, to reduce, to yield. That is the word, the meaning of the word submission. So, if a woman is supposed to submit to a man as they claim, then this should come natural to her. So, as someone that talks about authenticity, this goes against the law of nature, because we all are God. We are gods having a human experience. You want another person to refute their God, the God in them, to worship your own God. That's exactly what you're saying, because so that they can be in a relationship with you. There is another way to go about this, to be able to call or be in interdependent relationship with you. So there is another way to go about it other than the whole submission thing, and that is loyalty. So loyalty is about being true, trueness, faithfulness. It means I have your back. It means that she has your back and you have her back. That is what it means here. So, but when it is based here, this speaks of acquiescence of power. It means one losing him or herself to take on the personality of the other. This is what happens here that controls what happens here. And so with this, you cannot live your authentic life because your sense of self is eroded. You are not in your power, which talks about solar plexus chakra. So being in your power, it does not have anything to do with force or fighting or anything. That power is actually gentle, and it's not forceful. So healing your solar plexus chakra brings you into self-altering, because we all are gods having a human experience. So what this means is you're saying that this is not God, you are, and so this should forget who they are and cling to you and worship you. That's exactly what you're saying. With this, you're saying that the personhood of this does not exist, and she should forget about her personhood and embrace yours. Whereas what is supposed to happen here is interdependence, relationship between two whole people being in an interdependent relationship with each other, not an me owning you kind of relationship. It's really exhausting being in that state of mind, don't you think so? If you're free, you let her be free, and if she's free, she lets you be free, and you both are thriving, and you have each other's back, and that's what matters. All this clinging, you have to be this way and I have to be this way, those don't matter. They don't add to anything. So with this person is no longer self-altering. This person has forsaken their own God to worship your own. That's exactly what it means. So they have relinquished their personhood, their autonomy, their sovereignty as a human being to worship your own. So this looks like the kind of relationship we have with the elites of the world, whereby we are constantly being made to be in this state, be the sheep, be always obey whatever you are told. Don't use your mind. Don't ever use your mind, logical mind. And so just whatever you are told, say yes sir and go ahead and do it. So that is not exactly what is going on here. So but with here, even all those things you want here will be available here. If someone that is here embodies these things comfortably, because they are in their middle, they are not one-sided and all that. In the middle, they are true to you, true to themselves. They are faithful to themselves. They are faithful to you. They have their own back. They have yours. So the only problem is that we are constantly looking to outside of us for the things only us can give to ourselves. So when you have healed and have come to self-realization, which is knowing yourself fully as one with God, which marks your end of search for yourself in things and people outside of you, and she has done the same, then you people are whole. And then the relationship between two whole people, nothing can compare with it. So let's also look at the etymology of loyalty, the word loyalty. You see, it is from 14th century in Old French. So loyalty means fidelity, legitimacy, honesty, good quality. Let's look at other meanings. It means the oath of allegiance. It covers good conduct only. Loyalty is a matter of both principle and sentiment, conduct and feeling. It implies enthusiasm and devotion. So I am devoted to you, you're devoted to me. Is a healthy form of existence than me losing myself in you, so that you will feel great, you will feel that you're leading me. Lead yourself. You have only yourself to lead. Unless you are some sort of a leader of your organization or something, you can lead those people. But when it comes to even there, you encourage them to lead themselves, because now it will help you not to always be trying to see what they are doing, because whoever that leads themselves does not need to be monitored. So you save money, the money that you use in monitoring, then you save it and invest it into another thing. So this is what authenticity is all about. Authenticity is embodying the truth of who you are. You are God's, and that's what it is, and living from there. And whoever that lives their true authentic life is self-leading, self-governing. They just live aright. They don't need anybody. They don't need any book. They don't need God. They don't need anything to tell them to live aright. They just simply live aright because they follow who they are. And within each and every one of us is God, and there is only truth there. So this is how this pattern works between us. So whoever that can truly live the whole control thing, the whole it must be this way thing, forceful way and all that, and go to the higher way of living, embodying this, and the person here also living this and embodying, living manipulation, living lies, and the ways that female will condescend in order to get things and attention of men. If you can live it and be in your true power, you will attract, you will receive. And if you will stop fearing and be truly grounded in who you are, you will gain her attention, because you are not being aggressive. You are not trying to use her. You're not trying to use her. You're not trying to over impress her. You're simply confident in who you are, in your personhood. You lead from your heart and from not just from your logical side. So she too, when she's healed, she's in balance. She leads from her heart and not just also from her logical side and all that. So this combination is how a healthy relationship should look like, not this way that they always preach everywhere and all that. But when you sit with it to unpack it, you will see that it's not the natural way of things. Because if this is truly the natural way, there won't be need for it to be written in the books that they are written to remind women that that's what they are supposed to do, because it should just happen naturally. When you watch the lizards, you watch the lions, how they interact with their the female versions of themselves, you will see that it is not this way. It's not this way at all. It is not this way. They are the ones. even having the good look and all that. The female ones are always plain because it is this one that has to even do the extra work to gain the attention of this one. But that's not what we are talking about here. That will be for another day. So this is my take on the submission thing. We'll be ending it here. Thank you so much for listening up to this point. So what is your take? I would like to hear your take. Bye.